Alright, good morning guys. So I'm not going to be able to be with you today, so I thought I'd come into school a little bit early and take some notes, go through some of the problems we want to do. That way you guys are going to be able to work on this, and tomorrow when I'm back we can talk about it. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at two different ways of simplifying expressions. We've worked with the idea if we have the distributive property. What we're going to do now is we're going to combine the distributive property with a second quantity here. So when we look at these problems, we still just take it that step by step. All we want to do is follow that process of GIBs. Look at our groupings. In this problem right here, I look at the first grouping. Is there anything that I can combine within this group? Well, I have a term with the variable r, and I have a constant. So within the grouping, there's no more math that I can do right now. I look at the second one, 4r plus 3, again that same situation. I have one term with the variable and one that's still just a constant. I go through my next process, exponents. There's no exponents here. So multiplication, division. Well, we know that we have this understood 1 here, but if I multiply 1, it doesn't change anything there. Here, I have this positive 7 that I need to distribute. So even if we do take this idea that this is a 1, I'm going to distribute the 1 through. 1 times 8r is 8r. The 1 times positive 9 is positive 9. Now this is where it's going to be key. Don't forget the sign. Don't forget that sign that's in front of the number, because that's going to make a world of difference, especially when we get to a problem like this one over here. Positive 7 times positive 4r is positive 28r, 28 Romeo. Positive 7 times 3 is positive 21. Now I have the expression 8 Romeo plus 9 plus 28 Romeo plus 21. And now it's just that idea combining like terms. So I look, I have a Romeo and a Romeo here. So 8 Romeo plus 28 Romeo is going to be 36 Romeo. I have positive 9 and positive 21, so I have positive 30. I look, I have no more like terms, so this is my simplified answer. As we go through, as soon as we get to that point where there's no more math that I can do, I can't multiply, I can't combine like terms, I get down to this expression. Unless we know what Romeo equaled, there's nothing more we could have done there. Now we look at the second problem. I notice, again, I have a number that's going to be distributed into this quantity, a number that's distributed to this quantity. I want to first still go through all of my checks. I want to make sure, groupings, is there anything left to do here? 6v minus 6. I have Victor and I have a constant, there's no common terms. Negative 8v plus 3, again, no common terms, so now I look to distribute. Do not forget these signs. Negative 3 times 6 Victor is going to be negative 18 Victor. Negative 3 times negative 6. Again, it's not just the number that we're distributing that we got to pay attention to the signs. It's who we're multiplying that number to, who that number is being distributed to. Negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. Negative 5 times negative 8, negative times a negative is a positive. 5 times 8 is 40, but don't forget Victor. We're still multiplying this by the v. And then negative 5 times positive 3 is going to be negative 15. It never hurts to go back and just double check your work. Negative times positive is negative, 3 times 6, 18. I have my v, I'm good there. Negative times negative is positive, 3 times 6 is 18. Negative, negative is a positive. 5 times 8 is 40. Brought my v with it. Negative 3 times negative 5 times positive 3 is a negative 15. All right, so I've checked that. Now I'm on my step to combine like terms. I just like to start at the beginning and go through the list. Is there anything that I can combine with this? Negative 18v, that's a constant. There's another variable term with the exact same variable, exact same exponent. Negative 18 plus 40. This is where those integer rules come in play so much, is that we can't forget how to add integers. So I'm going to look at this. I'm combining a negative 18 with a positive 40. Well, I look, because they're opposite signs, I have more positives, so I know my answer is positive. And then I just do 40 minus 18, which is going to be 22 Victor. I have positive 18 as a constant and negative 15. So again, positive, negative, I have more positives. 18 minus 15 is 3. I have my variable term, a constant, so I know this is as far as I can go without knowing the value for Victor. On these problems, you're going through and you're just exercising that idea of making sure that we understand how the math plays out until we can't do any more math. You're going to have the front side of your sheet will work with problems that look just like this. The back side will start off a little bit like this with some combining, and then we're going to get to a different idea. We're going to slide you down a little bit. So if we look at the problem over here, it says if k equals 4 Bravo plus 2 and r equals 2 Bravo minus 5, what is the value of k plus r, k minus r? One of the biggest things that we've got to constantly work on is that ability to substitute values into expressions. We need to not only be able to do it when it's one value, but what happens as we go through here and we get these two different values, and they're not just a value, these are expressions. So how do we go about this? Just like we would if that said k equaled 4 and r equaled 2, it'd be 4 plus 2, 4 minus 2. It's the exact same idea. I substitute exactly what I have. So k plus r. Well, I know k is 4b plus 2. So I have 4b plus 2. And I'm going to group this because it is a group. It is a quantity that I'm substituting in there. I put my sign down, and now I'm going to do another group because, again, I'm going to be adding the expression 2b minus 5. 2b minus 5. So I look at this, and now I have two expressions being added together. I look within, there's no like terms in this first one, no like terms in this second one, so now I'm just going to go through and still that idea that there's this 1 outside that parenthesis that's going to be distributed. 1 times 4b is 4b. 1 times positive 2 is positive 2. Positive 1 times 2b is positive 2b. And positive 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. I look back through. I have a 4b, a positive 2b. And all we're going to do here is just combine those like terms. So I combine my Bravo terms. Now I look at my constants, 2 and negative 5. Well, that means I have more negatives than positives, so I know it's negative. 5 minus 2 is 3. And that's as far as I can go here, so my problem is simplified as far as possible. Remember, we do not solve these problems because I don't know what b is, so I can't solve. But I can simplify, or I can evaluate, or I can put into simplest form. Our next problem, Kilo minus Romeo. So here, the big idea is that we're subtracting that expression of Romeo. So when I substitute, it's going to look very similar. 4b plus 2. We have that quantity. Minus, I'm going to do that in another color so we can, minus the quantity 2b minus 5. The negative is a huge idea that we really need to focus on. So when I look at it, it's still the same idea of looking at grouping. There's no common terms here, so I move to the other one. No common terms there. This idea of the understood one still applies. It's like when we were identifying our terms. If we had n, we talked about the coefficient on n was this idea of 1. Well, in front of every parenthesis, if there isn't a number, there's that idea that there is a 1 there, that 1 that can be distributed. So we have the 1 times 4 bravo is 4 bravo. 1 times positive 2 is positive 2. Notice they started off exactly the same. Here's where they're going to be a little bit different, because now I have this negative 1 multiplied by 2 bravo. Negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 2 is 2. And we still have the bravo attached to it. Negative 1 times negative 5. A negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 5 is 5. So now notice the numbers are exactly the same. 4b2, 2b negative 5, or 5. 4b2, 2b 5. It's the signs in this problem that are different, that changed on us. Nothing really becomes different in the process though. We distribute it, we look for like terms. I have 4 bravo, negative 2 bravo. So 4 minus 2 is going to be 2 bravo. I have positive 2 and positive 5. Same sign, keep the sign, add the terms, so that's going to be plus 7. So 2b plus 7 for this one. This is just one that I made up. The first two are ones that are actually on the sheet that you'll be given. Work within your pod. Watch this. Try it individually. If you have questions, talk to your pod mates. We'll be going over this tomorrow, so try to finish what you can in class. Anything outside will be homework. Don't forget to work on your IXL. Quiz on Wednesday. Quiz Wednesday, test on Friday. If you need me, I'm around. Send me an email. All right, have a good day. Remember, be safe, be smart. If you can't be both, choose one.